Welcome back, everybody, to the New Adolescence.
The show that's still growing up.
That's right. I'm your host, JP.
And I'm Tyler.
Dang, we're back, Tyler. It's been a minute.
I know. We have gotten death threats, everything from fans just to trying to get us back on air, and here we are by popular demand.
Yeah, a lot of people have been reaching out. I feel like I haven't even been able to get through all my messages and emails about where the show is. People worried about us checking in. It's been crazy.
Someone filed a missing persons report on me the other day.
That's pretty wild. I haven't seen that for me.
Unfortunately, though, we've been off the air so long we have no sponsors today. So,
We lost all our sponsorships. We've just people went a different direction. They saw that we were taking a break and they went a different direction.
if you know anyone in your company's C-suite, put in a good word.
Put in a good word. We need some sponsorship.
Oh man, why were we off the air for so long, JP? What's happened in the last 2 or 3 months?
Let's see. I got married. I went on a honeymoon. Pretty exciting, huh?
What? No way.
I was waiting for the deafening roar of applause.
I,
Yeah, I got married for
I
everyone who didn't know.
I mean, man, not only did you get married, you had a bachelor party since the last time we recorded. I think we were
Oh, it's
talking
been
about
that long. Oh
getting
my
ready for that.
gosh.
Yeah.
That's right. We had a bachelor party in San Diego.
Let's
Gosh, it's
break it
been
all
it's been
down.
a JP summer.
Yeah, let's just go through the timeline. We had a bachelor party in San Diego. How was it, JP?
That was an exhilarating experience. Let's see. I will equate it to you run as fast as you can on the first lap of the mile, like fast. You set a world record for the 400, and then for the next 1,200 meters, you're gassed. That's how I equate my bachelor party.
Except you still keep trying to run and
You still keep trying to run.
staying up incredibly late and man,
Yeah, the weekend was wild. We were in San Diego. What do we have? Like 10 guys there, and the first night we drank a ton, or I drank a ton, and then we ended up sleeping at like 3 a.m. and this house that we were in, hostel looking place, had no shades, and that was the joke of the weekend. That there was no shades in this entire house, so every morning at 6 a.m. the morning sun would just wake everybody up.
and wasn't it glorious?
It kept us on time, I guess that's for sure.
Man, I think one of my highlights of the weekend was playing basketball with you,
Hmm.
and we just had this random, like, 11-year-old kid wearing Crocs jump in our game, all these sweaty bachelor party boys, and uh, JP misses a layup, and the Croc boy says, "What do you say, JP?"
He's like, man, why you miss your layup? Make your layup. There's nobody guarding you.
Called out by the Croc boy. It was a great time. But
Gosh, that basketball game is not a true testament of my true superior strength in basketball.
that was the first time we had played basketball in a long time, and it was. I could see you getting frustrated.
I was very frustrated because normally I'm a dominator in the game where that's why you heard from some of the guys calling me LeBron James and things like that, because when we all get together and play, I am carrying the team at least 10 to I'm good for 10 to 12 points in a 21 point game, if not more.
Every time.
But I mean, when you only get 3 hours of sleep and you take 8 shots of alcohol, I mean, you can't really show up to work the next day and perform at your best.
Yeah, man. In the post game press conference, all I could hear from JP is, "I have a terrible headache right now."
Yeah, it was bad. I
And I
did
said,
not drink enough water.
"How much water do you drink, JP?" Like a
None.
bottle. And that was the bachelor party. It was a great time. I thought very wholesome, and just yeah, one of my highlights of the summer definitely. But another
Yeah.
highlight was the wedding, man.
Yep. And then in September, beginning of September this month, got married to Isabella Graves, who I've known, gosh, 8 years. Crazy. And it was a good time for sure. And To anyone who's planning on getting married or has been married, you guys are so right. It feels like you're shot out of a cannon. Time goes so fast that you didn't. I don't even think I remembered enjoying. I remember little parts that I enjoyed, but I can't even remember like the entire thing. And I don't even think I was drunk. That's how fast it was going.
You definitely might have been a little bit drunk, but it was still good.
Yeah,
It does
it was a
move.
good time.
It does move very fast. Like it's it's pretty key to have like the video and the photos afterwards to just sort of be able to remember all the fun things that happened.
Yeah, because I don't remember a lot of it. Though I think some one thing I do regret is not getting up and taking pictures with people more. I feel like I sat for the entire dinner. I don't
Hmm.
think that's usually normal.
Hmm. I think Bella told me that you had already gone around and done your rounds of visiting with everyone.
Oh, okay. Well, I kept getting stopped by a lot of people. Like I would stop and be stopped talking. I would talk to people for half an hour almost. I feel like.
Hmm. Yeah,
Um,
it happens. Everyone wants to talk to the groom. That's like your only
yeah,
chance. You just gotta jump in and say, "Hey, it's been a long time."
yeah, yeah. But it was cool. And then we did a honeymoon in Hawaii, which I got back from last week or last Friday, and that was a lot of fun. And I'll be the first to say it. 8 days on vacation, it gets tiring. If you and we really did a lot of stuff. Like I was definitely tired by like the last day.
Did you feel relaxed though?
I felt relaxed, but I definitely felt like, man, I just want to lay by the pool today. Because
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of like, man, I want to go see everything. I've never been here. But towards the end, I was like, yeah, I want to sit by the pool today.
Yeah, it's tough to strike that balance of going out, seeing a brand new place, and doing all the exciting things that are there,
Hmm.
versus like getting some rest so you can actually enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. We did this hike, Tyler, and I remember, I think we were going to Guatemala maybe in 2012 or 2013. And I remember in the airport, you told me, "Hey JP, if there's a staircase there, never take the escalator." And I feel like I made you a promise that whenever there was a staircase, I would never take an escalator. I'd always take the stairs, and I still hold that to this day. And I say it every time I see stairs and there's an escalator next to it. I always tell Bella, "We got to take the stairs. That's what Tyler. That's what I promised Tyler." And so we went on this hike, and it was 1,000 stairs to the top. 1,000 stairs, and
Dang.
me and Bella did it, and it was definitely incredibly hard. And then maybe an hour or two later, we went to, I think it was called like Maui Brewing Company or something like that, and we went there, and there was an elevator to go to the third floor, or there was stairs to the left. And I had just done 1,000 steps, and I turned to Bella and I go, "What's another 20 steps?" And then we took the stairs up. We did it. We crushed it. We did 1,020 stairs.
Uh, Man, it's funny what people hold on to, and you never know if you say something what someone's gonna remember.
That's right. Tyler, I always take the stairs because of you.
Oh man. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate the good sentiment. I can't say I've always taken the stairs, but I still try to hold on to that.
It's faster sometimes. People are just standing there with their bags. I'm carrying 3 suitcases up the stairs.
I
Uh,
love it. Well, man, I wanted to get into your marriage a little bit, and now that you're a brand new married man, the new JP out here in the new adolescence, um, I want to kind of to hear from you. Like, how does it feel? Like, this is a very fresh moment as you're kind of stepping back into normal society after the honeymoon. Uh, does it feel different? Like, are you a changed man? Are things? Yeah. What's the overall feeling right now?
I'll tell you what, my Instagram DMs, they are quiet. It is a ghost town in there.
No one's sliding in.
Just
Brutal.
kidding. Um, ah, I don't know. I feel like I've known Bella for so long that, I mean, we've always just been best friends. We've always done a lot together. We've always really meshed well together, lived together. Um, I guess the biggest thing I guess that's changed is there's potential for a family, which I'm excited about. I'm pretty eager about kids and raising a family and doing all that jazz. I think the other thing that I'm trying to remember is trying to be even better. Like you saw boyfriend JP, but now you see husband JP. So I kind of want to like elevate my game, whether that's making more dinners or being more thoughtful. Like like I feel like a lot of things like this is a weird example, but like we're out of like toothpaste. Being proactive and being like we're out of toothpaste. I ordered it. It's already on the way. You don't even have to think about it because I feel like a lot of what I do is I just receive the the goodness of what Bella does because Bella's very on top of a lot of things. But I feel like I need to be on top of things too because I'm trying to imagine having kids and then Bella's cooking dinner every night and the kids are like, "Man, why doesn't this guy cook?" I'm like, I got to step in there.
Man, that's real. Like marriages and families, especially, are just built on thousands and thousands of unseen and unrecognized acts every day, right? Like your family didn't function if someone wasn't there to kind of like do all the mundane chores and things in the background,
Hmm.
um, which is kind of crazy. And I think, I mean, it's great for you to be able to recognize that and notice that. I think a lot of the times, like, um, it means so much to be able to recognize and be thankful for those little moments and those little things that are done. But I love that JP's leveling up his relationship game, and uh, not going to call out Bella on the new adolescence anymore. And I'm
Nope.
sure Bella's agreed to listen to the new adolescence, right?
No, I don't think she ever will. That's Bella.
That's okay, man. We can say whatever we want then. Just kidding.
That's right. Until she decides to sit down and listen to our hours of recorded art.
Well, I thought one thing that was interesting in your wedding ceremony was that you all did vows before the ceremony and didn't share them with anyone, which I'm not even bitter about it. But to be honest, like the vows are usually when I get a good understanding of like what this marriage actually means to somebody. Um, so here we are, you're a newly married man. You chose to get married. Why'd you do it? What does it mean?
I'll circle back on the vows real quick for the fans that want to know. You guys will get to hear them. They'll be in the video. I had a mic on. All right, I mic'd up so everybody could hear it. But looking back, hindsight, I think it was definitely a big miss. Bella's family got to enjoy them. They were outside. They were kind of like maybe 5 feet away from us, so they got to hear everything. But looking back, I think I didn't realize how much people wanted to see that. I mean, you're not the first person to tell me this. Like I didn't realize that like I always thought when I went to the weddings I was like, oh boy, let's get to the party. But people actually want to hear like the vows. They're curious. They're interested. And so I feel like that's a huge miss, especially since I like to put on a show.
Well, it was your wedding, right? There's really no misses. The
But
vows
we
are
both
just
talked
fun for
about it and we're
people.
like that we should have done that cuz I mean we did the private vows cuz I think maybe I don't know for sure, but I feel like maybe we were nervous about, talking in front of people, what we would say. But I mean, the vows were great. I mean, I can tell you, I read them both. They look great. We had our little vow books, but I'm glad we at least got it recorded. So for people who do want to hear from it, I mean, I'm happy to share it. So it'll be in the video. So I'm excited about that.
Nice. And I'm not really bitter. I think totally fine if you guys like decided to do vows just between the two of you. But like what like your marriage, like what does that actually mean to you now that you're married? I think there's kind of a new way of thinking about marriage, right? Where each marriage is sort of unique in what the person is actually promising to the other. Um, and I just want to hear it straight up from you. Like what is it? Like why'd you get married? What does it mean now?
I think the one of the biggest thing is I'm the support beam. I'm the wall for the weather. I'm the wall for the feelings, the emotion. I'm the support beam for Bella, and I always think that was like the biggest thing that I am excited about the marriage is that I get to be that person for Bella, and also that we get to be in each other's lives and raise a family. That's probably just as big is coming from not having a family and Bella understanding where I'm coming from as far as never knowing my parents and never really having a big family structure. I mean, she's always known that was a big thing. And I mean, over the 8 years of being together, it's been, I mean, incredibly awesome to grow together and to really like understand each other and what we want. And we both want a family. And I think that's, we're both great together. I think Bella really holds it down as far as, this is how things should be. And then me, who likes to go in squiggly lines and not follow the rules, she really like ropes me in and helps me stay on track. So I think those, we might be opposites, but I think we opposites definitely go together.
Yeah, marriage is generally like a very grounding experience for a lot of
Hmm.
people. And just touching on what you were saying, I think when I was doing premarital counseling with our friend Ben Kearns, uh, one of the things that he told me is it's all about your family's traditions and histories. Like that is really going to dictate a lot of where your marriage ends up, um, and kind of the arguments, the issues that are going to come up, the things that are going to grate against each other. But at the same time, it's this really cool opportunity to combine those two traditions into hopefully something better and more positive. Um, and that's always kind of stuck with me throughout my wedding. It really gives me a perspective of if I'm not understanding Colleen, to kind of like think back on her family history, her personal traditions and history, and that gives me a lot more of an understanding of where she's coming from when I feel like she's speaking like a totally different language to me sometimes in arguments that we've had. Um, that's always been helpful to me.
Yeah. I mean, that's great. Yeah, that's great to fall back on and to listen and try and think back on that. Yeah, traditions are gonna be. I'm looking forward to traditions. I'm looking forward to all that. Um, I'm curious, what kind of traditions do you think you guys will have? Like, I know Belle and I have always gone to the pumpkin patch. That's always been a big thing for us.
Yeah, I mean, we do like pretty basic like holiday traditions, like going to one of our parents' homes for Christmas and Thanksgiving each year. Um, but I even mean like traditions of like how does your family function traditionally, and um, like how does the culture that your family comes from function traditionally, right? Like Colleen is from a Brazilian and Peruvian background, and like when I am trying to understand like the way that her family and her are functioning, like I really have to consider that they didn't grow up in the same background that I did. They didn't um, they didn't have the typical like white perceived like standard childhood. Um, and probably right the same for you, and even the same for Bella, who grew up uh, like kind of all over the place, right?
Hmm.
Um, there's sort of a yeah, there's sort of like in the sense that that is a tradition that has to be considered in how I understand her opinions and her what she's saying to me,
Yeah.
her values.
Hmm. That's interesting. I know, if you remember in my thank you speech to her parents, I thanked them for showing me how big the world is. I mean, that's a big thing that I've kind of learned about their culture is her parents. I mean, Bella was born in Denmark. Her parents got married in Africa. They lived in Africa. They lived in Denmark. Her mom grew up in Iraq. I mean, the parents and Bella and Tasha, they just know how the world operates. Where I came from, all I knew was California, and even smaller than that, all I knew was just me, myself, and I in California. And then now, when I travel now, I understand there's so many cultures out there, and I don't necessarily see like the racism we see in America, but I see, racism on a global scale of just different cultures, not necessarily attacking anyone, but just trying to understand. If I'm on a plane and there's someone next to me that doesn't speak my language, how do I communicate them? How do I, accept them or they accept me? So things like that. So
Yeah, and even on a more personal note, right? Like you said you said like what you knew was just yourself, and now like you're fully committed to a person for life, and like that person, as well as you know somebody in marriage, you'll never know exactly what they're thinking every time. You'll never know exactly their motivations all the time. Like that person is on some level of depth a stranger to you, because they're not yourself, right? They're not you. You can tell what you are thinking, what you're perceiving, like why you care about certain things if you're that emotionally in tune. But even if you commit yourself to just learning someone inside and out, it's like there's still a level of them that you'll never fully understand because you're not them. Um,
Yep.
and so like that's one of the difficulties of marriage, right? And I think one of the interesting things, um, I read this once in a book by Tim Keller, who's like this big time pastor in New York. He talks a lot about the fact that like the Christian marriage, men and women getting married is like that's so key because men and women are so different. Like they actually like grate against each other so much that they polish each other into something better because they're so different from one another.
Mm, I like that.
Yeah.
So I wonder what we're gonna grade into.
Yeah, can be a painful process, but ultimately a great thing. Um,
I'm
and just
curious because oh, go ahead.
oh no, you go ahead.
Oh, thank you.
Wow, take this out in post,
Oh,
please.
Sean Trey.
All right,
I,
and we're on in three, two, one, go.
I was gonna say, I feel like knowing Bella for so long, 8 years, we've been grading for so long that honestly, where we were 8 years ago to where we are today, it looks completely different.
Totally, but it probably
So
took
I wonder,
a lot of
yeah,
compromise and a lot of change on each of your parts to get to that point, right? A lot of sacrifice, right? Because that's kind of what love
put the
is
controller
is
down,
sacrifice.
quit hanging out with your friends.
Yeah, but and I think
Remember to stay home. We don't have to go out every weekend. We can have a day home.
yeah, and I think eventually you find this place where you both, like as well as you can, understand each other and support each other, and um, like this image of two rocks just scraping against one another. You all have kind of conformed into these shapes that actually fit really well together, and it becomes this sort of beautiful thing in marriage.
Hmm. That's us.
The two pieces of a broken heart. You complete me.
We complete each other.
But yeah, and I think um, just to kind of wrap up this whole marriage thing, I think one thing that I always consider really as just the pinnacle, like the most important thing of marriage is that you two are committing to stay with one another. Um, and it's a lifetime commitment till death do us part. And that is why I think marriage is different than anything else, any other relationship you could possibly be in, right? Because suddenly you're becoming that person's family, uh, and you're committing to them that whatever happens, however someone might change in the relationship, whatever negative thing might occur, however annoyed you get at one another or whatever, you committed to being in that relationship and seeing it through to the end. Which is a crazy thing, and marriage has lost a little bit of power in that uh, there's a pretty significant amount of people not ascribing to that belief, or uh, not seeing it through to the end. But I think that's the real power in marriage and the real truth to why people get married.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be curious to see, you know, what it's going to look like going forward as far as marriage. I feel like people put it off and off more and more. I mean, out of my friends, I mean, it's you, Luke, Casey. That's like it. Even
Hmm.
from college, I think I'm one of the first ones, which is crazy.
Yeah,
So we'll see. I don't know.
yeah, and I think honestly we might get to this interesting point where not everyone is going to be choosing to get married anymore. right? There might just be long-term non-marriage relationships that occur, which the U.S. is kind of going to be weird about how those are considered for like taxes and that sort of thing, um, and dependence and all that good stuff. And but I think honestly, in the next 20 years, you'll probably see a pretty significant amount of kids entering elementary school, and their moms and dads aren't married, right? They're just in long-term relationships that um, they can step away from if they so choose. Which
Yeah,
pros and cons of that, I think it kind of um, maintains some of the true power that marriage can have if we aren't looking at marriage as this thing that can just be ended by divorce so easily. Um, but at the same time, I think we miss out on a lot of the incredible beauty of marriage.
I know. Now I just got to go for the streak. No divorce. Keep it together, Jay Pizzle. I
Dude,
can do it.
what are you at? 14 days? 14-day streak so far?
14-day streak. Let's keep it going.
Incredible. Well done.
I think my mentality though, I mean, I always tell myself I feel like a player and Bella's the coach. Like if she tells me this is wrong, like I'm gonna go back out there and run it right, and I'm gonna keep doing that until I get it right. And then on the next time we see the same play, I'm gonna get it right. That's always been my mentality. So I think I'm hoping that my philosophy here stays true through marriage. But that's always how I approach it. If I mess up, I'm like, oh, I remember that.
Yeah,
And if I make the same mistake twice, I always kick myself. I'm like, oh, why'd you forget that? You should remember that.
I love that. And I think honestly, like such a key relationship, like just best known practice is to it's kind of, it sounds cheesy, but I think assume that you're the one in the wrong and that you're the one who needs to fix something, right? Because in most arguments, like it's not really one person's fault so much as like there was a misunderstanding and something didn't work out correctly in the relationship, and there was some perceived expectation that didn't get met. But if you can look at your own self and see like, okay, like what is it that I messed up in? Um, like how did I mess that up? How did I cause that unhappiness or whatever? Then it usually turns out really well, right? And if both people are doing that, it actually becomes this incredible thing where you're both trying to make the relationship better and you're both fighting to make the other person happy.
Mm,
No longer the blame game where you're just saying like it's your fault, you got to fix it, which really fixes nothing.
never fixes anything. But it's never my fault in my head.
It's honestly online video games has taught me a lot about relationships. You just got to always assume that it's you who can do better. Not don't blame your teammates. It's just assume it's never their fault even if they're total idiots.
I love that. That is a great. That's a good one. Coin that.
um well, hey man, you've been talking a little bit about starting a family. Like when's our timeline? Are you all jumping right in and going to have a kid in the next 9 months?
I don't know. To be determined. We'll see soon.
He doesn't want to tell the internet. That's okay. That's okay.
It's
Too many
okay.
listeners here.
Soon.
Man,
Probably sooner than later, I would imagine.
yeah, do you feel like that is the next like big milestone of your life coming up? I mean, you're a property owner, you're a married man, you're a college graduate. Like, is that the next big thing for you?
I think the biggest thing is I don't want to be some old dude with a 7-year-old. Don't want to do it. Guy Valenzuela, I'm looking at you. I don't want to be some old dude with some like little kids.
Savage.
Um, I think I mean Bella's family did it right. They are like double Bella's age. So they're like if Bella's 25, her mom's 50. Like they did it correctly. Like it's double the age, you're still young and spry, you can still move around. You're not some old decrepit 7-year-old with like little kids.
Are you just thinking of like like do you just want to be an empty nester sooner rather than later, or you just like want to be perceived as a cool young parent? What's going on here?
I want to be a cool young parent. I still want to be able to do things like with like I still want to be able to like travel and like Bella's parents like fly all over the world. They don't have to worry about their health or anything like that. That's what I want.
Yeah. It is pretty
And
crazy. Go
You
ahead.
heard Ben on our interview. I mean, he said the best thing, like, don't worry about the stupid fights during high school. Like, you want to be your kid's best friend when they're in their 20s, because that's like when the magic happens. That's like the best time of their life. You get to relive the 20s with them.
You want to enjoy their fun 20s.
Yeah, because I mean that's like the cool thing. Like we fly around the world with Bella's parents. We've I don't know, we've done numerous things together, and I just imagine like that's so fun. But like that's what I'm looking forward to as a parent.
You want to be young enough when they're in their 20s to like you're just gonna suffer through 20 years of childhood to get there.
I don't know if I'll suffer. I mean, I feel like I'm pretty like you can have anything you want, spoil them all. We'll see. We'll
I think
see.
you
We'll see
definitely
how
might
I
suffer.
fare. I probably am gonna suffer knowing Bella because Bella's gonna get on me and be like, "Hey, you gotta hold the line. You can't be just letting them do whatever they want. When I say this is the rule, don't be going behind my back making it not a rule."
That's true. Actually, Colleen and I have a standing agreement for when we have children potentially. Uh, that I'm gonna let her be the cool parent because I think like naturally I'm gonna be a very relaxed parent. Like I am with. I hate drawing analogies between having a dog and being a parent because we already get crap from some of our listeners from that. But like with our dog, like I'm a little more relaxed on what I let our dog get away with, and Colleen is just like watching her like a hawk. But
Yep.
so we have a standing agreement that she's going to get to be the cool parent because otherwise she would have to be the one who's bringing down the hammer all the time. So I'm going to bring
I
down the hammer.
I don't know. We'll see. I want to be the parent. Like you come into the class, like Miss Harris's fifth grade class. Oh, the cold class is like riding, like woo, brought cupcakes, kids. Here you go. In my sandals, and my kids gonna be like, "Oh, great, Dad, go away! Quit coming to the class." I'm like, "Hey, what's up, class? Let's go."
Man, please film that moment if it ever happens.
Oh yeah, there's multiple things I'm already. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I can't plan the future. I can only dream about it.
Love it. Well, yeah, we already had an episode on childhood. I mean, on having kids. I don't know why we're talking about parenthood once again, but uh,
I know. Oh, Tyler, on some other news, and some of our listeners are gonna be happy. The future of in new adolescence. Do you want to give out what the broadcast? They we had a meeting today with the broadcast
we
with the
did.
TV network.
Yeah, the network. Wow, we're TV network. We're talking to TV network as an audio podcast. I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah, they said they wanted to sign us for another 10 episode season. We're super stoked about it, and I think we're gonna transition to like a every other week sort of thing. But just
yeah.
so you know,
Every other week.
I was thinking about this. Like every media, uh, like hobbyist that like decides to end their media, it's usually like this slow burnout of like we didn't do it for like a week at a time, we didn't do it for like a month at a time, and I totally understand that the way that our podcast is functioning right now is probably being perceived like that, like oh they're just letting it die right now. But no, we had a thing. We're letting it just rest for a little while, letting it marinate in some goodness and some life. And JP and I got to see each other a few times within that span, and we're very much alive,
We've
committed
got
for
lives
another
too,
season.
people. We're not always on this mic, all right? You gotta let us take a break every once in a while. Quit sliding into my DMs, ask me where I am.
I know, man, and honestly, the gap between season 2 and season 3 was just way too short. We didn't get enough vacation time, so
Yeah, we didn't. But they inked us for another season. Season four is coming. I think we're gonna get some spicy interviews. That's my hot take, hot prediction. We're gonna get some spicy interviews.
I like that. Let's interview people that we don't really know very well,
That'd be cool. Let's do that.
and let's do it in a way that oh my gosh, I just had this idea. Like, what if we do like chicken wings, but like 10 different chicken wings, and they just get more and more spicy every time. But we just keep interviewing them while they're eating the more spicy ones, and we see how far they can get while still being interviewed.
That's pretty good. And then we'll give them a free entree if they complete the whole thing.
I love that. Okay, spicy interviews. That's what's gonna happen next season on the New Adolescents.
You heard it here first, folks.
Oh my gosh, do you have any last takes you want to hit us with? Like,
Hey, I signed a marriage license. Save me.
I was thinking
No,
something more along the lines of like NFL, like really old people in the NFL sort of thing.
Oh yeah, you heard it here first. Tom Brady's going back to the Super Bowl. I said it last year. I'm gonna say it again. He's going back to the Super Bowl. He's gonna win ring number 8, and he's going undefeated this year. Nobody's beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You heard it here first. They're going 17-0, and they're gonna go ahead and win. So they're gonna go 20-0 in the playoffs. They're gonna win 3-0. They're gonna do it all. I'm telling you, you heard it here first, Tyler.
Not a soul is going to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Not a
They
soul.
are off to a hot start of the season. This has been a really interesting start of the NFL season. Yeah, that's something that happened when we weren't broadcasting was the NFL season started. JP is now heavily involved in his fantasy league.
Hmm.
I'm in 5 different teams. It's too much, but it's been a good start. Although the Packers, my poor Packers, I don't know what's going on right now.
Suck. No, they did good last night. Aaron Jones went off.
They did, yeah. We'll see. I don't know. I think the verdict is still out on how Aaron Rodgers is gonna perform this season. But Tom Brady having a great start of his season. So
He's the GOAT. Aaron Rodgers looking over at Tampa Bay and be like, man, I'm envious.
he must
You
be.
should be, because nobody's the GOAT but Tom Brady. All
Well,
right, well,
everyone,
the manager's circling her finger. She's like, you guys got to get off the air. We got the next show coming in.
dude, I thought you were the manager, but everyone, it's been a huge pleasure being back on the New Adolescents.
This
Thanks
was
for
our
your
season 3
patience.
finale, if you didn't catch that. That was the end. That's it. Finito. That's it. Get it
Wow,
out of here.
we're not even
We're
gonna
on to
make it to
4.
10 episodes this season. Oof,
Is this not the 10th episode?
I'm not sure. We'll have to count.
I'm pretty sure this is the 10th episode.
All right. Well, everyone, we've been the New Adolescents,
We've been the New Adolescents. I've been JP.
and I've been Tyler.
Have a great week, y'all. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Stay spicy.